Hey guys, Wayndre here, and welcome to our Blizzard recap. I'm going to be joined by Cynric. He's currently sitting over in the corner with his mic muted, waiting for me to be done with my intro. But today we're just kind of going over the broad strokes of what we saw at Blizzcon for the updates for Warcraft, Hearthstone, Heroes, Overwatch, all that kind of stuff, all the cool stuff we saw. And the changes that are going to be made, and kind of what we think of it, that kind of stuff. So, let me go grab him, and I'll be right back.
Okay,
there we go. So.
Sorry, PvP happened. Out of reason, I utterly just eviscerated him.
So, I'm assuming you've now gotten back into Warcraft.
Yep, I'm just trying to get my flying.
Oh, for Legion?
Yep.
Let me know if you need help with that.
I mean, I'm on Horde, so you can't.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. You Horde bastard. So. We saw a lot of shit.
We are back from Blizzcon.
Yes, we are finally back. Cynric's been back at work for 2 days now. I've only been back for 1. But it's still been crazy getting back to... I don't want to say civilian life because that seems really bad, but it's literally
back to
boring.
Regular
yeah.
adult life.
So, while we were there, we caught the big announcements in the opening ceremonies. So, WoW is getting an expansion. Overwatch is getting a official competitive league starting this year. Well, we heard that one last year, but now they've made it official and given us more details on it. Overwatch is getting a new character, and they have a new cinematic, which that was freaking... The Reinhardt one was pretty good. I gotta give them that.
Yeah, the Reinhardt one gave you all sorts of feels.
Oh my god. Also, who the shit is the girl?
Probably his, granddaughter.
Yeah, that's... and because he said Papa, so I'm like, did he have a son that died?
Or his friend's, daughter.
It could be. So,
Probably.
so that... We've got Heroes of the Storm getting 2 new characters and a new map. Mm-hmm. And then Hearthstone with their latest expansion and a fairly large redesign on some of their adventure mode stuff with that one too. And then StarCraft.
Yeah, the Hearthstone thing looks really cool.
StarCraft had a little bit of an update.
StarCraft's going free to play.
Yeah.
And if you have the first expansion, which is the base game, you get the next expansion for free.
Yeah. So if you get Wings of Liberty, if you already have Wings of Liberty, you get Heart of the Swarm for free.
Yeah. But
If you don't have
anything,
if you don't have anything, you get Wings of Liberty for free. Now, I'm curious as to whether or not later on they will make. You get everything to HOTS, and then Legacy of the Void if you already have the previous 2. Now, personally, I've got all 3, so it doesn't mean shit. So, but this is more, they're realizing that, I kind of see this from kind of the back burner and being in the StarCraft 2 scene for a little bit. A lot of the kind of the glory and the attention of a lot of the esports nowadays is going to Overwatch, Heroes, and a lot of the original StarCraft tournaments and players and kind of that stuff have all been migrating to these new games, and you're not seeing a lot of hype for it anymore. I mean, I saw the tournament over the weekend, the WCS World Championships this weekend for StarCraft 2, and there were still a lot of people, and it was a big hype. I mean, they had a brand new stage. They had new maps, they had new ways to do the commentating and stuff like that. But it was still kind of... You felt like there was... it was a lot of old hands there. There wasn't a lot of new people. And this is kind of them saying, hey, we want you to come back to what we originally started with all this esports crap. Or the official esports stuff. Because I know Warcraft has been... The arena stuff has been kind of the longest running esport for them.
No, Brood Wars.
Was it Brood Wars? It was, oh, you know what?
Brood Wars has been out longer than World of Warcraft.
You're right. But it was the first esport tournament that they had at BlizzCon, if I remember correctly. They always said Warcraft arena stuff is the is the original esport at BlizzCon. I mean, that's what they kept saying all week, unless I misheard that. See, now I want to look it up.
Maybe. Probably.
There's too much effort to look it up. But enough of that. Let's get back to the new stuff. Overwatch. Let's start with that one, because that one has a lot of fairly large news. We're getting a new character, Moira, who looks broken as... Even the developers gave her the nickname OPAF. Which... did you get to play that? Did you get to try her out?
I only saw gameplay of it.
Okay.
And what she was doing, but just basically watching her, it looked really kind of broken. I mean, she might break the Symmetra meta, which I'm really hoping, because Symmetra is just... I hate Symmetra.
Now, see, you say with the Symmetra thing, we also caught the World... Was it the World Cup? The Overwatch World Cup? Mm-hmm. Was the big Overwatch...
No one played Symmetra.
And nobody played Symmetra. It was... What was it? It was Tracer, Winston...
it was pretty much Tracer, Winston...
Mercy...
Roadhog, Mercy...
Genji.
And then Genji's.
Yeah. So, and you didn't see it. You saw, like, a couple of people playing Junkrat. You saw a couple of...
Hanzos,
you saw
Widowmakers. I mean, each hero had their own placement, their own
playstyle and that kind of stuff.
Well, not playstyle, like best maps. Like Junkrat for Junkertown is really good because it's so open. You can literally just spam your nades, but it's not great. Junkertown's really great for snipers and Hanzo because it's so open. You can literally just see everyone.
Right.
At least in the first part. Then you got, Hanamura, which is still really great for, Winston's and Tracers and high mobility characters that can fight.
I believe Pharah is really good on that one too.
Pharah too, yeah. Oh, we saw a few Pharahs.
We did, yeah. But you saw a lot of counts. But the thing was, when you looked at the two teams, a lot of the teams, I mean, there's
a lot of mirroring going on.
It was a lot of mirroring. So you'd have a Mercy versus Mercy, you'd have Winston versus Winston, you'd have Diva versus Diva, and it was kind of similar, but it was like who played it better, and you really saw where people's skills ranked when you did that, and which kind of leads me into my next point of the Overwatch League, is we're gonna start seeing a lot more of that kind of meta change with how I think personally we're going to see that meta change with who can do what in the league. Is what are the pro players using? I mean, there's now, I think I just looked at it today, between all 12 teams that they've created, there's I think like 50, I want to say about 50 to 100 actual players. I didn't do actual math because some teams only have like 6 people. Some teams have like 10 or 12. So you basically see a lot of teams that now have backups and reserves or A team, B team, and you can actually see we might see a lot of different compositions with different play styles now. Whereas some of these other teams, there's only 5 people on the team or 6 people, maybe one alt. That they have their mains, they have their characters that they're comfortable with, but now we're gonna see a lot of that. We might see a lot of that mix match. So
yeah, the other issue is, at least on lower level gameplay or just normal competitive, people don't like to switch to meet the needs of the team or to counterpick certain other players on the opposite team.
Right,
and that's something that the high players do. They have four characters that they're good at or they're comfortable with. They have a variety that they're proficient, and then ones they're comfortable with, and then they just switch between them in order to counter. Everyone does that, including the healers. So That's
Right.
something, I mean, hopefully we'll see more of when we see people in, like, this Hero League or things like that, so they can, so we can just start, getting better about it.
Right. And I think people will start seeing that now that I mean, Overwatch has only been out for what? 2 years, I want to say?
About,
a year and a
I guess
half?
about 2 years.
Year and a half,
No,
2
it
years?
was released sometime last year.
Was it? Okay. So,
Yeah.
I mean, Overwatch hasn't been around long enough. Like, I mean, if you look at older games, like Heroes, which have been out for 2 or 3 years, or like the WoW Arenas, the PvP stuff with that, or StarCraft, there's a lot of changes that have been made by a lot of these pro players that people in the lower levels are seeing and kind of work around that kind of stuff. But I'm hoping that now that Overwatch is getting some of that fame and familiarity, that it'll open the eyes of some of the lower level players and not make them so headstrong of, oh, I'm really good at this, and it'll get them to try stuff. But again,
maybe, but
gamers are headstrong to begin with. So
no, everyone's playing Overwatch as if it was Call of Duty. So
okay,
until we get rid of the stupid Call of Duty fanboys,
you're never gonna kill off the Call of Duty fanboys.
I know, because Call of Duty won't stop making bad games.
I gave up on Call of Duty back in, I think, Black Ops 2.
I gave up on it after Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah. But we have the Overwatch League, 12 teams. I'm trying to remember them all. New York, Excelsior, Boston, Uprising, Florida, Mayhem, Dallas Fuel, Houston Outlaws, the LA Gladiators, and oh shit, what was the other LA team? LA's got 2 teams, and then San Francisco. Where did San Francisco? I forgot about them already. But San Francisco is the team. The Philadelphia Fusion, which I actually kind of find is a kind of cute name. And then London has one, the London Spitfires. Who else? Shanghai Dragons and the Seoul
Tigers.
No, it's
Lions.
Seoul Dynasty. Yeah, their symbol is a tiger, so it's like it throws you off there. So, but there's 12 teams, and they're all going to be played out of LA this year, but they're doing it in a cool home versus away format, kind of like how they did the World Cup, and making specific character skins for the characters in the teams, which is actually kind of cool. So you always see it like a home and away color for all of these teams when they play. And I guess they're going to be adding them into the game as well for fans to be able to use. That's what I've heard. I can't really confirm it, but they're really turning it into like the esports, like the football or the soccer of esports, which we kind of need. We kind of need to make it look like we're not. They're trying to make it more serious than, oh, these guys are just playing games and then occasionally they win $10,000 in some tournament or something like that. They're actually making this a viable career for people that want to do it. So, I like it. Some people might say, oh, it's just making people lazy or whatever, but
I mean, is it really that much lazier than people spend their Saturdays lying on a couch binge watching 5 seasons of a show?
True, and that's kind of where I come from. I mean, it's also, you can say the same thing about people that go and watch a football game every Sunday, where you're watching people get paid absurd amounts of money just to carry a football, or just to carry a small ball down a field, and then have the possibility of catastrophic injuries and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know. It's just, I could debate this all night, but we'll not do that. We got more stuff to do. So, with Overwatch, we lead into another character swap over for Heroes of the Storm. Hanzo and Alex Straza. What do they call it? The Dueling Dragons, I believe they're calling this one.
Team Dragon, I don't know.
Team Dragons.
Team Dragons, something.
Yeah.
Something with dragons in it.
So they're adding Alexstrasza and Hanzo to Heroes of the Storm, which the cinematic for that was freaking awesome.
It was pretty cool.
And,
though it just really showcased how broken Hanzo's ultimate
oh my
really
god,
is.
it so is.
It's like, hey, let's just go ahead and take down a dragon aspect. Yeah, because that makes goddamn sense.
Yeah, so now I've actually talked to a few people, and there has been theories that Alexstrasza was going easy on Hanzo to welcome him to the Nexus. I'm like,
no, I'm not bitter. You're bitter.
yeah, exactly. It's just like, well, okay. But and with that also is they're adding a new map called Blizzard
Town.
Blizzard World.
Blizzard
World. And it's basically, from what I've seen, it's StarCraft, Warcraft, and...
It's every Blizzard game conjoined into one map. Essentially, just think of Disney World.
Yeah, it's Disney World, but for Blizzard games.
Epcot.
Which is
it's
awesome.
Blizzard Epcot. There you go.
I know, it's fucking awesome. And they said it's going to be... capture and half capture, half payload, kind of like
how... it's gonna be kind of like...
Hollywood.
Not Hanamura, no.
Hollywood? No, Hollywood's like that.
Hollywood. No. Yeah, Hollywood.
Yeah, because you capture the point and then you get the limo to wherever. So they're doing it kind of that way. Now, I didn't get to try it. Did you get to try that?
No.
What did you get? What did you... What?
All I was able to chess was the WoW dungeon and the WoW leveling.
The leveling, okay. So you did, yeah. We kind of focused on that one. We'll get to that in a minute, though.
No, I wanted to do Overwatch and Heroes of the Storm. And we did Hearthstone.
We did do Hearthstone. Yes, we did try that one.
But the problem was the lines were literally about a 2.5 to 3 hour wait each line.
It's line count
for about a 20-minute game, and
yeah.
I weighed my time versus value, and I did not think that waiting in line to test it was worth it, considering Moira is already on Overwatch PTR.
Yeah, so...
And the Hanzo stuff is coming out within the next month, they said. Yeah,
in the December season start for competitive heroes. They said that's going to come out. They also made with that game too. They also made a whole bunch of changes with game mechanics. Like stealth, laning. They took out a tower. They completely took out a tower in a couple of the lanes in some of the maps. They said.
Yeah, because it's right off the fort. It's the tower.
It's that auxiliary tower that just is a
It really doesn't do much. By the time you kill you can easily kill that without triggering the fort, or you can kill the fort without triggering that. People get caught on it. It's just bad.
So they're getting rid of that, and they're distributing the firepower and the defense of the tower between the other structures. So the gate, the other towers, and the fort, I guess.
And they're also making it. They're also making unlimited ammo.
Yes, and they're taking out the ammo capacity because that I will agree kind of made it too easy, but in the same
now it's forcing you to really
rely on the minions.
Stick with your really rely on your minions and not like
just.
Oh, hey Dante.
Oh,
did you start? Hold on. Sorry. For maintenance was coming in, but really it was just my roommate closing his door.
Okay, I stopped recording for that little jump.
Yeah, no, sorry. I don't want to miss that. Is all.
You're good. So, okay, so yeah, they're doing the tower unlimited ammo, and then they're also doing the stealth. So that instead of being a little tiny shimmer to other players,
you're now majorly. You're pretty much visible when you're moving, but when you stop moving, no one can see you. Period.
Yeah, so it's kind of that whole making it fair because I don't know how many times I've been pissed off when a Nova is just walking around and I don't catch that little glimmer because all the minions are shooting and the ground is actually moving and things are moving around. So I personally don't think that was an issue because Or well, I partially think it was an issue because it was actually almost extremely difficult, almost impossible to see that. So now even and they're changing the camera too. They are changing the camera.
Yeah,
so.
you can zoom out now, which is nicer.
And
but, I mean, the shimmer thing, honestly, it wasn't, or the stealth thing, it wasn't that bad.
No.
Once you knew what to look for and
you picked it up and
once you actually have map awareness, which a lot of people don't, and they blame their lack of map awareness on mechanics.
And it's the casual pugs that are just like, oh, well, I can't. Well, have more situational awareness. Now, with the change though, even if you have that small outline, if they hadn't changed the camera, there's such a small window, and a lot of times there's so much going on in that screen, you're never even going to notice the outline to begin with. So many people were complaining, now stealth doesn't mean jack all. Well, if you're facing 5 enemies and one of them goes stealth, is it really going to matter? And that's just my personal opinion on it, because it's just like, it's a mechanic. It makes it a little bit easier for people to see it, yes, but when you have 19 different things going on the screen, it's probably not one of your biggest issues.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
Yeah, but speaking of awareness, Hearthstone, a game that I just got back into and finally can actually play because I got rid of those 2 missions. They're releasing, what is it, Kobolds and Catacombs?
Yeah, Kobolds and Catacombs, which is their version of D&D. It's really cool because it's going to allow people who aren't a huge Hearthstone fan to actually
learn the
get
game.
the chance to play the game without having to feel like they have to drop a lot of money into it.
Right.
Essentially what they're doing is they're taking all the bosses that they have in the game, I believe, right now, and then they're shuffling it into 8 random encounters. Then you get to choose a 10-card deck, or is it just specific bosses for there?
Well, just to cut off of this, they're not changing the entire game to do it. This is a
solo adventure.
Solo adventuring mode, like how we've had Karazhan, how we've had Blackrock Depths, Ice Crown with the Knights of the Frozen Throne. It's kind of something like that, but it's a random deck of 10.
You start off with 10 cards, and each time you win, you get to add like 3 to 4 more.
But it's also a random deck of 8 bosses that you will randomly get progressively harder and harder and harder. I think you and me both made it to the 3rd boss, and what it was the first one was like, what, 10 HP or 8 HP? Something like that.
And they get progressively harder and harder and harder.
But you also get, once you finish a level, you also get a treasure that either helps you out or gives you a new card or something like that. Yeah. But you get to...
It gives you a bonus. Like, for example, when I beat the first boss, I chose one that gave me the ability, that doubled my health at the start of each round. So you start off at 20 health, and the next round you go up to 25, so I had 50.
Yeah.
So they're little things that help you in the beginning or hurt you, depending on what you choose.
Like with me, when I got to the 3rd boss, I picked Staff of Scorching, and it was a 10 mana card, and what I read it as was do 10 random damage to the enemy. What it was is do 10 random damage until... No, this is the second part was the same on both. Do 10 random damage until a hero dies. So what I played the card thinking, it's going to do damage to him, it's going to do damage to his minion. Well, the first shot hit him, did 10 damage. Then the next 2 shots hit me and did 20 damage. And then they started bouncing around and dying and stuff like that. But then it hit me again and killed me because I only had 9 HP, and then it hit me for 10, and I was like, oh, well, shoot. So it's kind of one of those random roll the dice. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, kind of things.
Yeah, good luck.
Mm-hmm. So, but I think that was fun. And
no, it was enjoyable, and I'm not a huge Hearthstone person. I go back and I play a little bit, and then I kind of quit, and then I kind of go back at the beginning of an expansion or a new adventure. And I feel like that one's gonna keep me going and interested.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely gonna be one of those games that I play, like when I'm sitting around for Warcraft servers to come back up, or if I'm sitting at work and on lunch or something. That's definitely something that I can just pick up and quickly play like a half hour or so. Get through a couple of bosses and see how far I can get, and then just call it a day and get my fix for that.
Yep.
I mean, I think this is going to be a really big thing for the game because, to be honest, Hearthstone has a big community for it.
Oh, yeah.
But it's not as big as WoW, as Overwatch is, as Here's the Storm is. And it's... Because it's another one of those trading card games. It's like you have to compete with like Yu-Gi-Oh! And poker and I don't know what other games there are. The thing is though, this is actually kind of a really unique game for at least online play, or as a standalone kind of game. Because we've got stuff like Gwent which basically started in Witcher 3 or Witcher 2 or whatever game it started in. But
Witcher 3.
Oh, start recording. There we go. Alright, so we've really only got one more thing to talk about.
Okay.
And that would be one of the bigger ones to be announced. World of Warcraft. And partially the reason why Cynric has come back into the fold of World of Warcraft players.
Yeah.
You cannot deny it.
No, it's mainly just because of the new expansion. And potentially vanilla servers.
Yeah. There's the two things. They're bringing into the game, or not into the game, but a standalone vanilla class or World of Warcraft classic. So back to the good old days of vanilla Warcraft, where you have skill trees and all that other fun stuff. So to be able to go back and fight an Entourage and all that other kind of stuff. That's actually pretty cool that they're actually doing this and actually listening to fans of bringing stuff like that back.
Now, my question is, are they going to do a time release where they did in vanilla, where they follow a timeline, or is it all just going to be kind of released at once, and so when you hit 60, you have every single thing available to you? My hope is that they do the time release and kind of release it as they're following the same like time bracket as they did in the original game too.
Right.
But I mean, either way, I'd just be happy. So
yeah, it's just cool to be able to go back and do it how most of us started playing this game. Is just back in the vanilla days. But then the kind of the bigger news is Battle for Azeroth, the new expansion. And that I have looked into a little bit. I have watched some more of the panels and gotten a little more information on how that is actually going to work. Now, obviously, with every expansion, new continents, new areas, a couple of new races. Now, those are actually interesting in how they're going to do them. So we're going back to the good old days of WoW, where it was Alliance versus Horde. So basically, everything's been fixed with the Legion. Well, fixed with the Legion. The threat has been ended, which we haven't really seen yet because they haven't finished the Argus plotline, or at least the raid yet. So we'll see how that goes. But now it's Alliance versus Horde, Sylvanas versus Anduin and Gen Greymane, and basically all-out war again. And the two new areas that they said are Coltrias and Zandalar. So they're bringing back the Zandalari trolls, and we get to meet Jaina's mom. Also, they have already confirmed Jaina's mom is not a Dreadlord. So we don't have to worry about any of those jokes, any of those theories, whatever. But yeah, basically it's going to be they say it's going to be similar to how Legion was with the leveling. How they're going to be when you get into the zone, it's going to be 110, and by the end of it, it'll progress all the way and level and scale up to 120. Then there's going to be the typical endgame faction runs. They said that the other island for Alliance or Horde will actually become unlocked for you to explore after 120. There'll actually be a quest line to actually have you set up bases and stuff over there. And as far as replacing like the garrison stuff and the class all order stuff, they're replacing that with island exploration where you collect resources and stuff. These are also kind of like the world quest items that they're talking about. But it's they're adding in the kind of the typical what we've seen in Warlords, what we've seen in Legion for as far as endgame content. They're sticking kind of with that that format, but the way they're changing it is with. I know we've all seen we've all dealt with the cross server realms and stuff like that. They're doing away with they're going to try and do away with the PvP PvE server classification, and they're going to make everything just toggle PvP on and off at will, basically. Which I could see as a partial good thing, but it might be troublesome in some points. But you can already see that they already started doing. They tried to force people back into PvP with some of the world quests that you saw. So I don't know. What do you think? Oh, did we lose Synark again?
Sorta. they came back with battery replacements.
Okay.
Good news is nothing's flashing green anymore.
Yay!
The bad news is
you have no
we're kind of just like, please work. So,
but
I mean, I don't know what you're talking about, but
sure. The Warcraft stuff. So I just got done. I went through the Cotrias, the Zandalar, all the like how they're doing the world quests and stuff with the exploring uncharted islands. And they did confirm that like there'll be like kind of repeat islands, but the quests on them will be different every time. Like one time you might show up and there'll be pirates. Another time you'll show up and there'll be an old god or something like that. And I'm not talking like all of a sudden Azoth is sitting right there, but
yeah.
But just like oh god, man, because they also have confirmed that with the Legion coming here, Azeroth as a Titan, because all the planets are Titans, Azeroth has been hurt and she is slowly dying. And with the kind of the purge of the artifact weapons that is apparently they've hinted at coming at the end of the raid, they're giving you a legendary neck piece or medallion that is called Heart of Azeroth. And basically what it is it allows you to upgrade certain pieces of gear and give you, I want to say kind of legendaries. They didn't really flesh it out too much. I haven't seen too much of a flesh out of that. But basically you can get like a helm that does better damage resistance or stuff like that, or bracelet. Like they said something about having 3 slots that it can basically affect, and a lot of it is cosmetic, but a lot of it is basically building up your character and exploring the world and trying to help fix the world, not necessarily fix the Titan, but make sure the world doesn't go the way of Argus or Outland.
Well, I mean, to be fair, well, no, Outland wasn't because of a God, Outland was literally because Sargeras.
Well, the thing is with that, now what I've heard is Outland...
And Argus is the same way.
Well, yeah. So, but with that and the PvP, I was talking about the PvP aspect of it, they're kind of doing away with PvP, PvE servers, and just making it cross-realm, but able to toggle that PvP, PvE consistently. But with the... I know they've revealed the allied races. So for the Alliance, it's the Void Elves, the Dark Iron Dwarves, and the... Shoot, who are the other ones? Oh, is it called Trias? Oh, the Light Forge Draenei, that's what it is. So those three. So they're not just giving it to us at the beginning of the expansion. We actually have to earn those allied races. So it won't be... those races are more of a badge of, look what I have done in the game. It's kind of like how they did with the Death Knights in Lich King. You had to have a character above level, what was it, 55
I think you had to
or
get
60?
to 120 first, and then you...
Yeah. So, no, you don't get them immediately at 120. There's actually quest lines to unlock each of the races. There's actually complete storylines of Moira bringing in the Dark Iron Dwarves.
See, I'm just gonna have to take your word for it because you actually went to the panels.
I didn't go to the panels. I actually watched these
stuff.
Right. So
I didn't.
It's more of the storylines and giving it as a reward for diving deeper into the story and making these kind of milestone kind of things, which is pretty cool. And it's the same thing with on the Horde side with the Zandalari, the High Mountain, and I am kind of a little bit pissed that they get the Nightborn. I mean, yes, we get Void Elves, but they get the Nightborn. And
Larry as a bitch.
Well, we haven't seen her since Warcraft 2. Since Warcraft 2, we haven't seen her. Now, the thing is, though, with that, because Illyria is actually the one training the Void Elves, this is also solidifying the rift between her and her sister Sylvanas.
Yep.
So we're kind of going to see more of that kind of family struggle pop up as well. Also, just to point out, the fact that Banshee Mode Sylvanas is fucking scary.
Yep.
From that trailer. Oh my god. Oh, but then fucking Power Word Shield from fucking Anduin. Good lord.
And then Mass Res.
Mass Res. That was fucking awesome. So the allied races, PvP. What else was there? There was something else that they were doing too. I can't remember. Oh, and then they're also revamping the lower level expansions and leveling systems so that it's similar to Legion, where areas will kind of progress with you. So, like, if you go to Westfall at level 10, from level 10 to, say, 30, Westfall will give you a challenge. And after 30, it'll cap, so you don't have to come back. So you won't come back to Westfall, and all of a sudden there'll be level 120 minions running around. But with that as well is they've kind of augmented the order of... I say augmented because they didn't really change the order. They give you the option to choose what expansion you go to. So basically the examples they gave are Burning Crusade and Lich King both are scaled between, I think they said level 30 and level 80. So from level 30 on, you can choose. You can either go BC and level to 80, or you can go to Lich King and level to 80. So you can kind of pick which expansions and which orders you want to do them in. And then they said with And then the same thing with Cataclysm and Pandaria. You don't have to go through the Cataclysm stuff if you don't want to deal with Deathwing. You can go to Pandaria and vice versa. So they're giving you a bit more options when leveling because they're kind of saying how you'd get halfway through a zone and then you'd outmax the zone and all of a sudden your quests wouldn't mean squat or your gear wouldn't mean squat.
Because of heirlooms.
Well, and yeah, because of heirlooms too. So it's like, what's the challenge here for me to keep going through this zone and get the story, get the lore? I mean, I take it from me, I'm a person that likes to go through and get the story, get the lore, and see what they've changed over the years. But is from a leveling standpoint, getting you to that end goal of end game content, the new stuff, the new expansion, there's not a lot to it there. There's not a lot of drive to get you to do the story leading up to that. So I think this change that they're doing is going to help newer players, people that are just coming into the game, kind of get the story without a lot of the rewards being missed. So, and then with that as well, the allied races actually start at level 20. So you'll have your mounts, you'll have all that kind of stuff. So
yep, and then if you level to level 1 from 20 to 100, you then get the ability to get the heirloom.
Yes.
Not the heirloom.
The heirloom armor or the heritage armor, yeah. So basically,
race.
and they did confirm that is going to be transmoggable
by anyone who wears that proficiency.
No. So they said
for that allied race, right?
Well, I don't know if it's for that allied race or not, but they basically said if you want, like for the Darker and Dwarf armor is kind of more battle magey kind of thing, but you can wear that on a class with like cloth armor. You can have it transmog to that to make your character look more like a battle mage instead of glass cannon.
Mm-hmm.
So it's cool how they're doing that. So if you get all of the transmog items, you have more options kind of things. Right. So, I mean, I like the concept. We'll see how it actually fleshes out. Now, we got to try a lot of the dungeoning, and you got to try the questing, so we kind of saw how that was going to work. And now we both agreed that we did run into the typical expansion level, what would we call it, the level shrink or the level crunch? Or stat crunch.
Stat squishing.
Yeah, stat squishing. So,
but I mean, the way that the devs said it, blood DK plus vampiric blood equals raid boss.
Yes.
No. Not allowed.
So we'll kind of see how that all pans out in the next. I mean, we're probably not going to see anything until what? We'll probably see announcements in May. Probably release in August.
It's probably going to be at least it's going to be at least 6 months.
August to November, somewhere around there.
It's not going to show up until sometime at all.
Yeah, so we're still probably about 6 to 8 months away. So, but we'll be listening to more and more of the info on this because this is actually pretty big. I mean, they're going back to kind of what started Warcraft is that Horde versus Alliance battle lines kind of thing, and I'm excited. I personally am excited. So. Especially with me actually being back in the game long term now, doing raids, doing dungeons, having a guild that's active, going back through the world, gearing my alts up, that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, other than that, I think that's pretty much a lot of the big news from BlizzCon that we were able to see and kind of go through and experience. So. I mean, you got anything else that you want to kind of...
No, I mean, pretty much what you said. I mean, there's a lot of new stuff coming out for the Blizzard domains and the Blizzard games. It's definitely going to be a interesting time. It's going to be a lot of excitement. So hold your butts.
Prepare for a wild ride.
As with all Blizzard, like post BlizzCon, like month afters.
Yeah,
so
everyone comes back from BlizzCon super hyped to like play the games. You know, try to get really good at a game. Try to go for being part of the potentially a tournament next year or something like that, or applying for that. And then it kind of tapers off about 4 months in or something.
Yeah, because the patches come out or the additions come out, and people are kind of like, this isn't exactly what I expected. But it's that hype that gets everybody going, and it's kind of nice. So
Blizzard is really good at getting people hyped for every single game because of how great their cinematics are and their storytelling is in those cinematics.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, that's kind of a wrap up. I'll probably be doing another video of some more in-depth stuff once I kind of get through all the panels that I unfortunately missed, and also probably coming up in December and January when it does start, I will be doing some Overwatch League stuff because I am excited for that. I do like when new esports comes in, and this is actually, from what I've seen, is going to revolutionize what we see in the esports community. So I'm actually really excited to get behind this and see where it goes. If it's a flop, if it's a explosion of popularity, I'm one of those people in the back of my mind that's saying this is going to be bigger than the NFL. Probably won't be, but we'll see what happens. So, but yeah, I think that's it, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Go check out Cindric's channel for his side of the story, or at least his face, or whatever he's doing. Check out his BlizzCon
there may
updates.
not be any things got hairy with the whole fire alarm, so
but
we'll have some stuff coming up soon. Don't worry, guys.
But hit the subscribe button down below for more of my videos. Go check out my BlizzCon updates, highlights, pictures, all that kind of stuff that I put out the other day. Again, keep hit that little notification button so you got the videos that come out with all the updates. More videos like this where we're talking about the new stuff for Blizzard, the new stuff for Overwatch, all that kind of stuff. And then also go check out my Twitch channel. I do stream all the time. So, but other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Bye.